Now let's talk more about this rice seedling factory. Joining me live from Calabar is the Executive Governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you.
All right, so this is the first of its kind in Africa, as is being reported. But just tell us more about why this factory is unique.
The original essence of this factory is to deal with the fundamental issues that leads to the low productivity and low yield in rice production in Nigeria. Having done a very extensive study and understand that the quality of the seed is very critical, it becomes clear that if we continue to allow our old people to practice agri the way we do, we will never get it right. So I decided to introduce technology, go around the world and get the best of tech as applicable in all the advanced countries. So today what we have is using seeds that have been properly cultured, engineered biologically through tissue culture to produce new cultivars that will have high disease resistance, higher yield, and can withstand very harsh conditions. But more importantly, is that we're also introducing agricultural practices that are technology-driven. That way, you have situations where you increase your yield from the current situation of about 2 to 3 tons per hectare to about 7 to 9 tons per hectare. So the farmer is not farming in vain. That's the beauty, that's the innovation. And then it's not manual anymore. It's gone completely digital. From seeding to planting to harvest, it's all technology-driven. Therefore, even the educated young man will be excited to go to agriculture. And that's what we call digital agriculture.
All right, well, let me just ask, achieving food sufficiency is another reason the project is being commended. But let me turn your attention to the killings in Plateau and the fears experienced by farmers and crop producers in Benue. Now, they say that if the bloodshed in this country continues the way it's going, we could be faced with severe food shortages. Are you worried about this as well?
Oh, definitely. Because in any country where there's this continuous bloodshed, there is no amount of technology or agriculture that can bring value. The fear is that there is an organic and very pervasive fear that is going around the world. Indeed, the situation in Nigeria is very scary, particularly with what has just happened in Plateau. But I think that's why the president has come there. But for agriculture to be serious, people have to have access to their farmland. It's quite scary as we speak, and I think that government has to deal with this very seriously because it deals directly with food sufficiency. If you look at the statistics, Nigeria, 195 million people, expected to even be hitting close to the 3rd most populous country. Without a deliberate program on food, definitely we have a very stochastic sarcasm confronting us in no distant time. Therefore, the issues of unrest, the issue of communal clash, the issue of killings must be addressed. It's directly linked with food sufficiency.
And speaking about the government addressing the situation, there are those who believe that until this country is restructured, armed violence will continue. What is your opinion on the restructuring debate? Quickly.
The details of restructuring remains very sectional. And I think as a government, I believe that there's an ethical issue that we need to also deal with. The conduct, character, integrity, honor, conscience. Where the conscience is dead, when the policeman in you is dead, nothing works. If somebody can take a knife and put through a fellow human being and walks away, that's not African. There's a classic departure from the tradition of an African man. And it's getting worse by the day. And my fear is that we're losing the sense of humanity. And so even before we get to the issues of restructuring, the issue of self-restructuring, the issue of what is called human being, that I don't know how somebody would take a life and then go to bed and sleep. I want to have his own kids. I want prosperity. I mean, the videos that go around is very horrible. I can't even stand them.
So what are some of the things that you're doing, I mean, as a state governor? What are some of the things you're doing differently to protect yourselves and the people of your own state from the incursion that we see right now?
I think the real thing to deal with, which is what I am doing, employment. You need to create jobs. It's competition for survival. You're having an increasing level of demographic explosion without a corresponding increase in opportunity. And so there is a broken personality, a broken structure in society where there are too many people competing for very little chances. And normally, once that happens, you have this kind of abysmal attitude. And so what I do in my state is expanding government, creating jobs, going into factories. And that's why I think road constructions, infrastructural development is good. But I think I need a more sustainable thing that can create jobs.
All right.
If you look at Cross River State, we also have huge cases of intertribal communities and crises. But we deal with them by massively going in as government, creating opportunity for them to get employed into government or find soft loans like the Cross River Microfinance Bank to create opportunity for people to go into farming. Government gets very involved in people's life. And education, more importantly. If people have education, they have a better conscience, they are more restrained, they are more cautious when they are taking certain decisions. They will not think from the stomach. They will employ their conscience before taking action. All
right, Governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade, thank you so much for joining us on the news at 10 tonight. Thank you.